Celebrated author, columnist and management consultant Gurucharan Das says that in order for there to be a positive investment climate in a country, no one person can be above the law. He made this observation at the 13th Sri Lanka Economic Summit organised by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, currently underway in Colombo. News First Nadim Majid reports.
Positioning Sri Lanka in the global economy was the theme for this year's Sri Lanka Economic Summit, which kicked off in Colombo yesterday. Many renowned personalities from across the world are participating in the two-day summit.
Sri Lanka achieved growth of 8% plus in the last 2 years. This is partly owing to the rise in consumption to meet the pent-up demand. If Sri Lanka is retain and progress on this growth momentum and realize the investment to GDP levels of 35% plus to maintain this growth, we have to expand our exports and attract more FDI.
Yesterday's inauguration saw candid views being expressed by internationally celebrated author, columnist and management consultant Gurucharan Das.
It's really important that the rule of law means nobody should be above the rule of law. And that is what creates an environment which gives predictability. A rules-based society is what encourages investment. And that's how you talked about the 8% growth for Sri Lanka. You talked about the peace dividend for Sri Lanka. That's how it will come, through creating a rules-based society.
Senior Minister of International Monetary Corporation, Dr. Sarath Amanugama, who was the chief guest at the occasion, reacted to Dr. Das' statement in his address.
I endorse the views of Mr. Das that you must have policy consistency. We are doing well, but we need to do much more in terms of fair play, of an equal playing field, and also not change policies all the time. So these are areas that we have to consider.
Going on behind me is the second day of the 13th Sri Lanka Economic Summit organised by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. Now, delivering the keynote address at the first plenary session this morning, the Secretary to the Treasury, Dr. P.B. Jayasundara, expressed these views.
Sri Lanka has passed several milestones in recent times. The country has completed a 3-year peace, reconciliation and development effort since the prolonged conflict ended in May 2009. Having reached the critical threshold of $1,000 per capita income level in 2004, Sri Lanka has crossed $2,000 per capita income in 2008 and is well on the way to cross $3,000 per capita level this year.
Today's session saw many panelists engaging in debate and discussion to enlighten the corporate leaders who were present. The summit will end tomorrow, promising more of the same. Nadim Majid, News First.
This First in Focus carried out an exclusive interview with Gurucharan Das on the sidelines of the 13th Sri Lanka Economic Summit. You can catch the full interview on Sunday after the 9 p.m. Primetime News Bulletin.
The Champions Torch Relay, which seeks to unearth budding young sportsmen and women in Sri Lanka, completed day 5 of its 20-day journey across the island. Now, the main aim of the Champions Torch Relay, which is organized by MTV and MBC networks, is to recognize these youngsters who are trying to make their mark in the local and international sporting arena. The Champions Torch Relay is held in collaboration with the National Youth Services Council and the Sri Lanka Federation of Youth Clubs.
The Champions Torch Relay commenced its journey from Putlam this morning, and the flame was lit by DIG of the Putlam District, I.M. Karunaratne. Thereafter, Additional Secretary of the Putlam District, Chandrasiri Bandara, handed over the torch to Danushka Ashane Fernando, who had the privilege of being the torchbearer of the day. The Champions Torch Relay kicked off its journey from near the central bus stand in Putlam. The Champions Torch Relay, which arrived in Mundalama, was warmly welcomed by members of the Divisional Secretariat. This was the reception received when the Champions Torch Relay passed the Vijay Katupotha Vijaya Mahavidyalaya in Chilau. A group of students from the Vijay Katupotha Vijaya Mahavidyalaya who won the 2011 All Island Girls Schools Cricket Tournament also took part in the Torch Relay. Students of the Arachikattua Junior School in Chilau did not hesitate to carry the Champions Torch for a short distance as it passed through their hometown. The Champions Torch Relay, which arrived in the Chilau town, was welcomed by the students of the Ananda National School in this manner. Young sportsmen and women who represented the Chilau and Madampe Divisional Secretariat areas at the National Youth Sports Festival also had the opportunity of carrying the flame today. Area residents and students from Joseph Vaz College lined the streets as the Champions Torch Relay made its way to Vennapur. Danushka Ashin Fernando, who carried the flame from Putlam, passed it on to Sampath Niroshan in the Kochikade area. Sampath, who came first in the race walking event at the 2010 National Youth Sports Festival, secured second place in the same event at the 2012 National Sports Festival. The Champions Torch Relay, which covered a distance of 100 kilometers after commencing its journey from Putlam today, reached Negombo for the evening celebrations.
The war has ended, and at a time when peace has dawned, this initiative that is carried out to provide a bright future for the country's children should be looked at with a lot of happiness. The children are the future of a country. We are very happy that this relay travelled through the Puttalam district. This is because it is after several years that the spirit of humanity has been displayed to the entire world. At a time when the people of this country are being awakened, we cherish this opportunity that we got to welcome the Champions Torch Relay on behalf of the residents of Mundalama.
Okay, so we're from Germany, just passing this way on the way to Anaratnapura, and we saw your representatives of the championship. Very interesting for us, and we wish you good luck.
We extend our well wishes to the Torch Relay organized by MTV MBC to encourage sportsmen and women. May God bless you.
This is a very important initiative carried out by MTV MBC together with the National Youth Services Council and the Sri Lanka Federation of Youth Clubs, especially for up-and-coming young sportsmen and women. As the Provincial Director of the Youth Services Council, we warmly welcome the sportsmen and women who arrived.
The Champions Torch Relay, which commenced in Pedro and which will head to Dondra Head, paused in Negombo today. Tomorrow, the torch will travel from Negombo to Kuliapitiya.
Several comments were posted on the Champions Torch Relay on our website www.newsfirst.lk. Here are a few.
Court of Appeal revoking an earlier order sentenced to death today the accused in the murder of a Swedish woman at Royal Park condominium in Colombo. The death sentence was imposed on the accused, Jude Shamantha Anthony Dramaha. The accused appellant had filed an appeal against the 12-year prison sentence that was imposed on him by the Colombo High Court. The Attorney General, who had filed a counter-appeal, said that the accused had been found guilty of murder and thereby he should be given the death sentence. The Court of Appeal, after taking into consideration the submissions of both parties, set aside the verdict of the Colombo High Court and sentenced Jude Shamantha Anthony Dramaha to death. The case was taken up before Court of Appeal Justices W.L. Ranjit Silva and Nalin Pereira. Swedish national Yvonne Johnson was murdered on the 30th of June 2005 at Royal Park.
You're watching News First. Up next is Action TV.
The New Chattel Hospital, which was established in the year 1920 by the British, provided yeoman service to the residents of New Chattel Estate in Anguruwattota, in Horana and 10 other villages throughout a period of 87 years, but was eventually closed down in 2007, 2 years after it was taken over by the Western Province Health Department. Action TV revealed this on the 23rd of October, pointing out that Western Provincial Council officials who ensured the closure of the hospital have failed to provide an alternative premises to house the child and maternity clinic. As a result, the clinic has to be conducted in a new small area of an official residence in the New Chattel Estate, which does not have water or sanitary facilities. The Provincial Health Minister on the 18th of November opened a plaque to mark the modernization of the hospital. However, Action TV pointed out that 5 million rupees were allocated by the central government not for the modernization of the hospital, but for the renovation of a single building to house the child and maternity clinic. Action TV revealed on the 19th of last month that the Western Province Health Department had failed to fulfill its responsibilities as it had not used a single building to house the child and maternity clinic after having renovated several buildings that were in a dilapidated state without satisfying the main requirement, for which 5 million rupees was provided by the ministry. Accordingly, continuing the services provided by the clinic turned out to be a difficult task. It was proved yesterday that the Western Province Health Department has once again failed to identify the priority need. These buildings, which were upgraded, were opened yesterday to provide medical services to patients by a doctor who would arrive here only once a week.
The clinic is still here. There are no proper facilities here. They should relocate it. They said that it would be renovated, but they're doing something else.
Shouldn't the child and maternity clinic established here at least try to make up for the inability of officials who transformed a hospital which provided in-house treatment into a mere medical clinic within a period of 4 years? Minister of Health of the Western Province, once again, over to you.